Welcome to Enlightenment of Change on webtalkradio.net. I'm your host, Connie Whitman, so thanks for joining us today. Now, every week as you tune in, I really hope that you feel my passion that hopefully my guests and I provide some strategies, some tips, some examples, just some things that you can implement immediately. For me, it's always about immediate implementation and getting those results on whatever road of change that you're on, whether you've chosen it or it's thrust upon you. I really do hope my guests and I provide some insight or navigational tools, if you will, to help you move that needle for you. The other thing to help you, I love giving things away. So if you go to my website, I have a free communication style assessment. It tells you what your communication superpowers are, and it tells you what your communication blind spots are. Kind of important to know that as well. So if you go to my website, it's whitmanassoc.com/CSA. And of course, that link will be in the show notes. And the last thing, if you're loving the show, I really get so excited when I read new reviews and I get those 5 ratings and people subscribe. It really makes my heart sing. So if you haven't done that, please do that so you don't miss an episode, and share with your peeps so that we can spread some love. Now, my motivational quote today is by Dr. Fabrizio Mancini, and Dr. Fabrizio says, "The greatest miracle on earth is the human body. It is stronger and wiser than you may realize, and improving its ability to self-heal is within your control." So have you ever heard the expression, you are what you eat? It is literally the truth, right? So most of us, unfortunately, we don't eat what we should be eating every day. And I don't know about you guys, but why does it just feel so darn hard at times to make those better choices? We know what they are, yet we don't do it. And is it possible to create small, sustainable changes that will provide those big, lasting results, to our health? Well, my guest today, of course, is an expert. My friend and guest expert today is Sean Dugan. Now, Sean is a certified professional health coach. He loves cooking, eating well, living a healthy lifestyle, and being around his family and friends. He finds his balance in this busy world by making food, fitness, and fun an important part of his life. Now, healthy eating is a way of life, and Sean wants to share with us today, especially his healthy spins on what might be non-traditional healthy meals. So I'm so excited for our conversation. Please help me welcome Sean to the show. So Sean, thanks for being on, and this is an important topic.
Yeah, Connie, thanks for having me. Yes, it is a very important topic, and the health coaching industry, as you can call it, is on the rise. Health is on everyone's mind today, and having that health coach there to help you guide your way through trying to live a healthy lifestyle is important to people, and it's an asset for clients to be able to have that support system from a health coach.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you in a minute what to define a health coach, because I think there's just so many definitions out there. So I want to talk about that. But before, just an observation, right? We're living longer. So I don't know about you, but my mom and dad are 90 and 92, and God bless my dad. He's still amazing, Sean, like amazing, right?
That's
still
awesome.
Firing. He gets his 6,000 steps in on his his Fitbit. He's a riot. So he has the iPhone. He's on an iPad. He's 90. Okay. I want to be him when I grow up. So in order to be him, we have to make sure that we eat healthy. So talk to us first about, because I do think this is such an important topic. What is a health coach, and why do I need one?
Sure. So a health coach, it's a wellness authority and a supportive mentor that helps clients make positive health choices. We educate and support clients to achieve their health goals through lifestyle and behavioral adjustments. So a good way to look at this, Connie, is why does someone hire a personal trainer? Or why does a world-class athlete have a personal trainer, right? They know the basic elements of what they need to do, but they don't know how to go about it or, have a sustainable, schedule. So let's just take the first of the new year, right? Everybody is like, all right, I'm going to get on that health kick. I'm joining a gym, right? They walk into the gym and there's just all this equipment all over the place, right? So, all right, so, what do I do first? Should I do cardio first? Should I lift weights? Should I stretch, right? All right, I'm confused here. Let me hire that personal trainer. It's the same thing with the health coach. Okay, so we're going to support you to make that healthy lifestyle. We're going to support you and see what works for you and what works best for you, and serve as that support system that you need in order to put together this healthy lifestyle. And what I do is I have programs set up where you have access to me 24/7 through text, and then we meet up like every 2 weeks to make sure that you are holding yourself accountable to reaching your goals. And that's the big thing is, we work with the client, but now the client has a health coach, same as they have that gym, the trainer at the gym, right? Why do you go to the gym now? Because you hired that trainer. All right, so why are you having this healthy lifestyle? Oh, because I have this health coach now, and I don't want to disappoint and come and show up when we meet and be like, yeah, I didn't really do the things that I said it was going to be. So accountability is a big thing too. Is the client now feels as though they have to hold themselves accountable to the goals they set forth, because you don't want to go back to that coach and be like, yeah, I didn't really do anything. I'm sorry.
Accountability, man. We all need it, right? Right, Sean?
Yeah.
Accountability is key. And even in business, right? As a business owner as well, when I work with my clients, whether I'm coaching them, whether I'm training, there has to be, there's a saying in business, you have to inspect what you expect. So if no one ever comes back and says, all right, how did it go? Did it work? Didn't? Why did it work? Why didn't it? If we need to tweak it, let's tweak it, right? But you can't tweak something if you never did anything. So I think accountability is such an important piece of the puzzle. And as soon as we're held accountable, all of a sudden we do things. So it's fascinating how the human brain works, because we don't want to show up unprepared, at least the majority of us. So I love that. Yes, I'm here to support you. Yes, I'm here to teach you. But there's an underlying, we're accountable to each other as well, because they're holding you accountable to help them, pivot and change whatever health issues are going on. What is, and one other thing I want to say, because in your bio, you put family, friends. So when you live a healthy, sustainable lifestyle, I think you can create your community that can live this healthy, sustainable lifestyle, where you can have barbecues on the weekends, but everybody's bringing those healthy choices, right? And you can have so much fun together eating healthy, preparing healthy. And also for our kids, I think it teaches them how to make better choices as well, and recipes and all of those things, right? I think that's important too.
Absolutely. And the fact that you said that, right? So now when you have that community of friends and they're all looking to live that healthy lifestyle, you start comparing your recipes like, oh, I got this, or I've tried this. Have you tried this? No, I'm going to try it. Let's figure it out. I'll try this one, and I'll bring this dish, and I found the recipe here. I'm going to bring that. And you're introducing the healthy foods to family and friends in a social setting. So yeah, it's absolutely great.
And it makes it fun, right? So what's your newest recipe? And especially if I have a brother-in-law, he's vegan, but like super vegan, like he doesn't put oil in his food as well, because his dad had health issues. So he took control in his 50s. He's now in his 60s, but in his 50s, he took control and went total vegan. And he grows his own vegetables. Former Dave would call him, right? But he grows his vegetables in the backyard, and he truly lives this sustainable lifestyle. But he started with those, those small changes, and now he just lives and breathes it. And it's funny because my sister, when they meet other people who eat vegan, they're like, "Oh, what do you do? And how do you use and what ingredients?" So it's kind of fun that they're building their recipes, in a bigger scale than just trying to do it on your own. And I think that helps with the accountability too, I would think.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it's like, it's sometimes, people might think of it like a competition, like, oh yeah, you got this. Well, I have this one here, right? Well, I got a better recipe than you, so it's kind of like, it builds that camaraderie of just wanting to eat healthy, amongst your friends. Yeah. So it does. It's good. It's great.
It's nice to have that community too, and you can have fun and have something in common that's actually healthy, right? Now you talk about the primary and secondary foods. Can you teach us what that is and what it means and why it's important?
Sure. Yeah. So the primary foods, that refers to what nourishes us off the plate. Okay. So we call it primary foods because wellness goes beyond the food we eat. We know we all need food to survive, but the primary food emphasizes on, that we're multidimensional beings and we need more than just food to survive, right? So one of the things, I print this out, I don't know, so I'll hold it up and call it the wheel of life. Okay, Connie?
Yep.
And on here, right, you have your career, your health, your home cooking, your relationships, social life, right? So we will give this to a client, and we tell them to put a dot in each one to figure out where they are on the wheel of life, right? So then you draw a line to each one. So let's just say, for example, relationships was down here, like in the middle, right? Or towards here. You kind of want to be on the outside spectrum, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
then as you're looking into like that healthy lifestyle, right? Okay, well, the relationships aren't good, or your career is not where it is. All right, so let's look at that. Let's look to see what these outside factors are that are not having you have your healthy lifestyle. So all of this stuff comes into play, and it gives us that chance to take a step back, right? And then look at everything and see where there's imbalance in our lives, and try to fix that and get us all to the outside of the perimeter of this circle of life, which then that's also living that the healthy lifestyle. The secondary foods, all right, they're the foods that we eat every day. Okay, and it's the food on our plate. It refers to the nourishment we derive from the food that we eat. And explores nutritional value and how we bring it in, and making sure that it's healthy food that you are bringing into your body. But when people think, I had a friend of mine tell me, yeah, hey, I saw that you became a health coach. I eat pretty healthy, so I don't really think, I need the health coach. I said, yeah, that's awesome that you're eating healthy. I said, but it goes beyond just eating healthy. It goes into your lifestyle and what's going on in your life and whatnot. And I made a joke. I go, well, I know you. I think maybe we might want to, look into the other things of your lifestyle, as a joke saying that, but they go, oh, I get what you're saying. So it's the complete package of not just eating right, but everything in your life, your spirituality, your career, your finances, your joy, your social life, and how all of that, affects you. Like, let's just say you're in a relationship, right? And, you have a bad breakup. What do people do? They go to the ice cream, they eat the ice cream. So then that's just triggering, you're having, bad food at that point. It's comfort food, because you are not feeling well. But
Yes.
like, all right, let's work on that, and let's see what we need to get you out and back to the relationships where it should be on the perimeter of that circle of life.
And I'm laughing because and everyone that you mentioned, spirituality, your job, your relationships, right? What you eat. So we think that it's all about what you eat, and there's what we eat, though. It's exactly right. We eat emotionally. So when you have a bad day, I deserve that piece of candy tonight, right? Mm-hmm. I want that chocolate kiss or whatever it is for you because we had that bad day. So there's always this emotional response, and we go to food for comfort. And I think it's because the commercials, the commercials have an element of, ooh, I'd like to be like them, their relationship. So let me drink or eat that. And that's just not the case, right? It's all advertising. It's all BS. But it's it's funny that we are human. We are creatures that we need people. We need tribes, right? We need our community. We need to have healthy relationships. We need to have a job that we thrive in, not just survive in, because they really do impact. And I agree. It's the emotional disconnect. And then we're trying to fill that void, wherever that void is coming through or coming from, with some form of food. So I just love the wheel.
Right.
Beautiful visual. I'm a visual learner. That just made sense to me. So
yeah.
Thank
you. It's funny that you said that, if you had a bad day, so I'm gonna make myself feel good with the ice cream, right? So when you think of that, right, that goes back all to when you were growing up, like your mom or your dad, like, oh, you had a bad day. How about some ice cream after dinner to make you feel better? So that's where that comes from, so it's just built into you that is just the way you're brought up, and that made you feel good because, you got that love from your parents, and the love of a bad day fed into ice cream for dessert.
That's right. It had nothing to do with the rocky road. It had everything to do with mama loving you, right?
Exactly.
Because you had a bad day. Again,
Yeah.
we're emotional beings. And you know this too, Sean, right? Being in the work that you do. We have so many limiting beliefs, maybe even not limiting, because that's kind of lovely. Your mom, you had a bad day and she gave you a little loving and you needed it. But what we attach to our brain is the rocky road, not the love, that emotional support from somebody in our orbit, right? Whether it's a spouse or a kid or whatever it is. Another question for you. What is bio individuality? You put that on the questions, and that I'm like, ooh, what is that?
Yeah. All right. So bio individuality is the idea that everybody has different needs. All right. Everyone's unique. So we're just all unique in mind, body, and spirit. And the things that support our individual happiness. All right. So when it comes to like a diet, lifestyle, or whatever makes you happy and whatever works for you is not necessarily going to work for your family, your friends, or your coworkers. All right. So we have a saying is that one person's food is another person's poison. Okay. So you could have someone who has, celiac disease, which is a bad reaction to, like carbohydrates and whatnot. So, they go gluten free, right? Where that doesn't affect me at all. Okay. So the bio individuality it's just unique to each person, and whatever we're going to figure out for you doesn't work, for me. So for example, I just lost 20 pounds.
Nice.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, just from, graduating, and, the health coach and stuff like that. And a few years ago, a friend of ours who was a nutritionist, she sat down with my wife and myself, and we went over the things that we were eating. She pointed out some things that we can do to change some things out. But then she looked at me, she goes, you need to eat more. You need to get your metabolism going, and I said, okay. So I started eating, trying to eat, 3 times a day or something like that. But I always felt full and bloated, right? And then sometimes at night I would get acid reflux because I was full. So the one thing about bio individuality and being a health coach is that, okay, you get to experiment with things that work for that client, right? So I started trying to figure things out here. Let me just see, because I don't like feeling full. I don't like feeling, forcing myself to eat. So I started figuring, all right, I know breakfast is the most important meal in the day, but I'm just not a breakfast person, so it's like, how do I incorporate that into what I need to do? So I just started having some fruit in the morning with a rice cake, right? You go to the supermarkets now, they have the rice cakes. They have some flavor to them. I get the apple cinnamon one. It tastes fine, right? I carry around a bottle of seltzer, drink that throughout the day. Lunch, I'll have, you go to Whole Foods, they have the fresh turkey that they slice for you. You get that and wrap it some cheese. If I'm hungry in the afternoon, some fruit and maybe almonds. And then here I am now at dinner, right? Which dinner is my favorite meal. I like to do it. And then I like to do it because now the family's there, my wife and kids, and I like cooking dinner for all them. So I incorporated the healthy meals into it, and not having too much heavy stuff to eat, and voila, it worked. And my brother-in-law said to me, he goes, "Oh, so you're fasting?" I said, "No, I'm not fasting because I'm not hungry during the day. I feel full. I'm eating what I need to eat, and it's working for me. It certainly wouldn't work for you. He likes to have a cereal. He likes to do this and that." I said, "That's the thing about bio individuality. You sit down with somebody, you figure what works for them, and let's put a plan in action for you, and then you hold yourself accountable to that plan."
And it's so important because I agree with you 100%. We're not cookie cutter, right? Men or women, excuse me, our metabolisms are different. Somebody who's 17 and a gentleman who's 50, your metabolisms are different. You're going to react to food differently, right? If you have celiac disease, you're going to react to food differently. Everybody is different. And it's funny, even in my business, when I'm coaching someone or I'm teaching sales, whatever it is, coaching, whatever I'm teaching someone, they're not cookie cutter. I have to make sure that they can digest the information, pun intended with that, digest the information and then be able to apply it in their real life. It's the exact same thing with the food and exercise plan. Like if you said to me, Connie, you know, running, the best thing for you to lose weight, get in shape is running. I hate running. I've always hated running. And because I was very physical as a child, I was a tomboy. I always had bruised knees, right? Well, now fast forward, if I ran and that impact on my knees, you know, as a 59-year-old woman, it would not bring me any joy. It would be grueling, but also it would be painful. So that wouldn't work for me. So why would you? Yeah, maybe that's the best way to lose weight quickly, right? By sweating and doing a triathlon or something. So not in my zone of joy. It would be drudgery. So you have to find what works for people. I agree with that because we're not cookie cutter. Right. Now, I know
we're all unique.
And I think that as a health coach, you know, that's really even more than, we know what to eat healthy, but you have to figure out what healthy means to me and what, you know, healthy eat means to my husband or to my kids. So I think that's just such an important piece of, you know, Sean isn't just about healthy recipes. Sean is about, whoa, take a step back. Let's look at all of these angles and pieces of your life and then really figure out you, the essence of you, what motivates you, what makes you that emotional response, what is your go-to for food, how can we change that trigger? All of that is that psychological component. It's not just about healthy recipes, right? I'm understanding you.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So what are whole foods, right? We have the Whole Foods down the street here in Middletown, but what are whole foods?
Yeah. All right. So whole foods are foods that have not been processed, packaged, or altered in any way. Okay. So they're crucial. The whole foods are crucial because they contain all the vitamins and minerals that our bodies need. You know, the nutrients are retained, allowing for optimal absorption and nourishment. Right. So you know, and in order for your body to be as healthy as possible, it's extremely important to incorporate these into your diet, right? So some examples, if you have your vegetables, all right, so you have carrots and broccoli and spinach and peppers, you know, those are good things for the vegetables. Your fruits, you have your apples, grapes, watermelons, peaches. Your grains, right? So you can still have whole grains, right? And it would be like, you know, brown rice, oatmeal, quinoa, you know, buckwheat, however you can incorporate that into your diet. And then beans are good, right? So you got your black beans, your black-eyed peas, and then you got your chickpeas. The thing about chickpeas, right, is if you go into the Whole Foods now or anywhere, they have like chickpea pasta, right? Which is not bad. You know, it tastes fine if you're having your spaghetti and meatballs and, you know, you let's just say you don't like the taste of it, right? But if you put a little sauce on it, you can't really tell. I put it in, you know, in exchange for my kids. They didn't even pick up on it, right? You know, so it's like, so there's so many things out there that that are good for you, that your body needs. And then if you just incorporate that into your diet, you know, it's only going to make your body respond better to whatever it is that you're looking to do as far as change your eating habits. You know, the non-whole foods, all right, those are foods that are processed. So they're like your cookies, your crackers, you know, your actual regular pasta, you know, even American cheese, you know, all that stuff is processed. And, you know, it's just, you know, when they start to mess with the actual way that it was meant to be eaten, then it you know, it's not as healthy as eating your whole foods.
And it's tragic what's happening, I think, in the world, not even just in the United States, Sean, with the amount of pesticides, right, that are out there. So if you could buy organic, I know we try to buy organic as much as possible. Again, we have Whole Foods down the street, and even ShopRite has a lot of organic stuff. So that's one thing that the pesticides, I think, is really bad for our systems and for longevity, right, of life. But the other thing I think is the hormones that they're putting in, the cows and the chicken and, and how they feed and the grass and all of those things. And I think that's having a huge impact on the human body. And I think it's to an extent, and I don't know about you, I'm 59. I think you're a little younger than me, but the number of people that are passing away, 52, and you hear, cancer, or they had a massive heart attack. It's becoming more and more frequent. And I just feel it's because we're putting really poison in our bodies. I don't know. Am I off with that?
No, you're not. So I go to the grocery market and, you come and you look at the chicken breast, and the chicken breast is the size of this piece of paper, right? You're like, where's that chicken coming from? That's way too big. And what's happening? They're pumping it with the hormones, right? So if you can just, I know the organic, chicken is a little bit more expensive, but it doesn't have all that extra stuff in it that you really don't need to be putting into your body, right?
Absolutely.
And again, stuff that I do is we go to the supermarket, do a supermarket tour if you want, and show you where the good shopping at the supermarket is. And let's just say, all right, yeah, the organic chicken is a little bit more expensive, but I'll take it, I'll show you, I tell you, you take it, you can slice that chicken breast in half. So now you're getting a little extra, you're getting 2 pieces of chicken, out of, rather than just the one. So yes, it is a little bit more expensive, but I'll show you how to make it last for the week and get a couple meals out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, it's all about education, but you've studied this, right? You live and breathe this. So you know all of the little secrets, right? All the little tweaks that we can make to create that really long-term sustainable change. This is your zone of genius, right? You're passionate about it. You're knowledgeable about it, but you're also living and breathing it. You, your household, your family, your friends, which I think is really important, which is what we started with the conversation. So another question, let's talk about sugar. Okay, because we all love sugar. Let's face it. It's bad for us. Really, really, why is sugar so bad? What's the message there?
Sure. So sugar, if you look at it from this point of view, sugar is not bad if you have the recommended dose, which they say is 6 to 7 teaspoons a day of sugar. All right. And now if you look at, sugar is in everything. Okay. So you could have your daily amount of sugar maybe in the morning if you put cream in your coffee, okay? In America, the average person, just the average person, is up to 17 to 20 teaspoons of sugar a day, okay? So, we're with sugar being in everything that it is, there's more consumption. And there's a direct correlation between sugar and obesity. All right, and we do have an obesity problem in this country. You look. All you need to do is walk around, and you just look at the people. They're overweight. I see it. When I pick up my kids from school, I see these young kids, and I look at them, and they're overweight. I don't know what they're being fed. I don't know anything about it. All I can do is just by looking at it at such a young age, that's not good, right? Too much sugar then leads to a risk of, heart disease, cancer, diabetes. Obviously we all know it does tooth decay because we go and we get the cavities, right? So that's one thing there. It is related to ADD and ADHD, right? And then, for anyone that, for everyone that's listening to this, all right, if you don't like aging, sugar is not good for the aging process, and it causes some of the wrinkles. So if you're looking to have that nice, young, vibrant, skin and look, right, too much sugar adds to those wrinkles. So I'll just give you an example, all right? So my older brother has stage 4 esophagus cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay. Thank you. A couple years back, he was going in for the surgery. It was supposed to be, all right, we'll go in, we'll take it out, and we'll move on. But what happened was the day before the surgery, I guess the cancer had spread to the bones, right? So now I never asked him what the doctor said to him, but obviously it was, not good news. And, he was given a certain amount of time to live. Yeah, no, it's upsetting, right? So he went to, he was at Sloan, he went to Boston, he went down to Texas down there. They started talking about his diet, right? So then he went all plant-based. All right, so see what happens there, right? But what happened was with the plant-based, he was eating too much fruit, like watermelon and stuff like that, that has high sugar in it, right?
Yeah.
So then what they did was they said, all right, let's change this up. You don't have to go plant-based. Let's watch the sugar that you're taking. Let's watch your sugar intake, okay? So now for the past year and a half, no bad news, like nothing has spread. He's still going to get chemo. This past summer he did chemo and radiation. But since he changed that diet and since he's not putting the sugar in there, there's been no spreading of it. So that's good news. I'm not saying it's going to cure him, but if it keeps him around longer, then absolutely it's a good thing. So the point that I'm trying to make is that, what you're putting in your body, is having a direct correlation to how the body reacts to it, right? You have a blemish on your face. That's your body telling you that whatever you just put into it is causing a reaction, okay? If you think of, our bodies, the human body, it's like a superhuman computer, right? Take what's going on now with the coronavirus, you get that virus, right? Your body then is now alerted. These antibodies come into place to ward it off, right? And we get the vaccine put in there to help it, to boost it a little bit, so that when that virus does come into your system, your body will be able to fight it off.
Sure.
So again, why put something into your body that is not going to help it, right? If you have a Ferrari, you're not going to put diesel in the Ferrari, right? You're going to put high octane gas in your car. Same thing with your body. Treat your body like a car. Treat your body like the machine that it is, and feed it what it needs. And I'm not saying I have two kids, right? My son is in the 6th grade. He's a child, right? He likes to have his sweets, and we give it to him with the notion, he'll be like, "Can I have a sweet tonight?" I'll be like, "Did you have any last night?" And he's like, "Yeah." I go, "Well, what do you think? Do you think it's good to have it 2 nights in a row?" And he's like, "No, probably not." Right. So we're just trying to educate him on,
Absolutely.
you can't put too much sugar into your body. Right. So,
Wonderful.
And he's learning that, he's understanding that, he's like, "You know what? I don't need all the sugar. I don't need it. Yeah, you're right. I don't need it tonight." Right. So if we teach that to him at an age he is now, then he's not going to be looking to go crazy when he's a teenager eating all the sugar. It's just, so.
Yeah, it's true. And it's addictive. Sugar's addictive, right? So
More addictive than cocaine and heroin.
Think about that. And yet, there's no warning signs on the sugar packet. So,
yeah.
Which is, counterintuitive, like it's killing you, but we don't want to tell anybody that, right? So it's big business. It is big business in a way, as well. We're out of time, but I want you to can you give 2 or 3 quick tips, anybody listening, Sean, that they could go, ooh, I could put that in place today? What would be 3 quick tips that you could give?
So yeah, I would change, when you're thinking of something, is change should with could, right? Don't be like, all right, I should start this diet today, or I should start this healthy. No, I could start this today, and I will start this today.
That's
right?
Mm-hmm.
Some steps to healthy life, is your eating habits. Sit down to eat. Okay, maybe start with your vegetables, and then towards the end, you're not as full at the end. Your relationships. My wife makes it a point when we sit down at the table to ask everyone about their day.
Aww.
How did your day go? Tell me about what was the most favorite thing that you learned in school today, right? That is good as to as I was talking before, is the circle of life, is building the relationships, right? So and listen to what is being said. Some self-care, right? Try to get 7 hours a night sleep. Sleep is important. Your body needs to rest. Okay. And if you can get 7 hours a night sleeping, that's going to be beneficial to you for the next day. Have a daily affirmation, right? Write something down, be like, all right, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to, reach out to someone. I'm going to say hello to someone. I'm going to laugh more, whatever it is, do that. Right. And whatever it is that you're starting, start it off in sustainable steps, right? So, all right, I want to start moving around. I want to start walking. Start off with a 10-minute walk. Don't say I'm going to walk 5 miles a day, right? Okay, because then by the end of the week, you're like, I'm so tired of not doing this, right? Start off by walking, right? Start off by walking 10 minutes a day. You walk 10 minutes a day, maybe a couple of days into it, you're like, you know what? I got time. I'm going to walk 30 minutes now. We're going to walk 20 minutes, right? Do it in steps, do it in sustainable things. Whatever you do, make sure that it's sustainable, because if you start something and, April 2nd, I want to lose 40 pounds for the summer. And then by the end of April, if you've only lost, 5 or 8, rather than being happy that you lost 5 or 8, you're going to be like, all right, I have another month and there's no way I'm going to do this. Forget it, right? You just,
Yes.
so whatever you do, make sure that you are going to be able to sustain it and keep it going, and don't get down on yourself because you didn't lose 10 pounds, but you only lost 5 pounds. That's a good thing. That's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So
pat yourself on the back, right? Take the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great book out there. James Clear, he's been on my show. It's called Atomic Habits, and he's about those micro changes. And if those little micro changes adds up to the huge change. So he uses the example, like when a plane takes off, right? If they're 1 degree off on, and there's no correction of the equipment, right? He says if that 1 degree at the start of when he takes off, if he's pointing in that 1 degree difference, he'll end up like in Australia instead of like London, right? That 1 degree. So that's his point. So if you make that 1 degree adjustment and do that, and then another 1 degree adjustment, you're almost like self-correcting. It's exactly what you just said. I love that, sustainable changes. And the other thing, like my example before, I hate running. So why would that why would that even be something that someone would recommend me? They'd be crazy. But if they said to me, you know what, do you like riding a bike? Yes, I do. Okay, even in the winter, get an exercise bike, ride 10 miles on the bike, right? Put the TV on, they have the different on the exercise bike. Now you could go uphill, downhill, and all the different tensions and stuff. So find something that I think also brings joy. And I love what your wife is doing at dinner, where, hey, how was your day? What was your favorite thing you learned today? The affirmations, all of these little tips. Notice most of them weren't about necessarily food, because again, the emotion drives our choice of food. So Sean, thank you so much. We're out of time, but wow, great tips. Love your approach that no one is cookie cutter. Great example with your brother's story. Again, I'll keep him in my prayers. That just broke my heart. Your story, losing the 20 pounds and how you did it, and your friend going, oh, I could never do that. You're starving yourself, and you're thinking, well, not really. I'm full. So everybody is different. You have to do what fits your lifestyle, but fits your body type and all of those other things we talked about. Guys, if you're interested, please check out Sean's website. It's familyfirsthealthcoach.com. And I love that it's family first on your website. I thought that was cool. And if you have questions specifically for Sean, you can email him at Sean, SEAN, at familyfirsthealthcoach.com. No worries. I promise I will post that on the show notes for you guys to reach him. Sean, thank you again for being on. Truly inspiring. But you really broke it down that it's not just about the food. There's so much more that goes into it, and we have to be mindful of that as well. So thank you for sharing that wheel. I thought that was a great visual. Is that wheel on your website? Just curious.
I don't know if it's on there. I'd have to find, again, I'm new to the building the website, so I'd have to be able to see how I can put that on one of the pages there. Yeah, but it's probably a good idea to put it on there.
Yeah, or if they email you, you can maybe send them so they can say, I'm a visual learner. So and I liked how you said it's all of the spokes of the wheel, but the objective is you really want to get on that outer edge. So if I'm on the inner edge, right, I maybe need work in that. So maybe if food is a little piece of it, maybe I put more effort on the affirmations or on finding a new job, and all, because that's the other thing too, right, Sean? If we work on everything at once, nothing will change, because we can't sustain changing everything in life. That's really the essence of the show. Pick one little tangible example that Sean gave today and try it for a few days, then come back and go, ooh, I'm ready for the next little piece of the puzzle, and build your puzzle out, move out on the wheel. I just love that. I thought that was such an awesome visual, Sean. Thank you for that.
No worries.
Thank you for being on again. Check him out, Sean at familyfirsthealthcoach.com, or just go to the website, familyfirsthealthcoach.com. And you do Zoom so that you can help people that aren't necessarily in New Jersey, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah, you can do Zoom, and that's the beauty of it too, is like you can meet in person, but if you can't, then we can set something up through Zoom, and then we can have our meetings through Zoom and see what it is that is working for you, what's not working for you.
Yeah.
And and that's the thing, is like experimenting what works, and then getting it into a rhythm, routine for you, and running with that. And again, that works for you, but it won't work for me. It won't work for Connie. It's what's going to work for you, the individual.
I love it.
And that's what's great about this.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with business, right? Getting what works for my business isn't going to work for your business. So it's that understanding, trying, and I love the word experimenting. Just experiment, play, right? We could play with it. And then when it works, you go, ooh, I got a little diamond here. I'm going to keep doing that. And then what's the next piece, and the next piece, and the next piece? We got to build it and sustain it. Same thing with business. Same thing when I coach. People don't go have a conversation with me and they're great at sales. It's not how it works. I have to understand their psyche. Where are they coming from? What are their limiting beliefs? What are their relationships like? All of this applies in everything we do in our everyday lives and businesses and careers. It's fascinating. Humans are fascinating, Sean.
We are, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Intricate, fascinating, and frustrating at times, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you again for being on and just sharing so much great content. And I hope you guys will join me weekly as we question, build, and discover together. No matter what change you're going through, I really do hope my guests and I provide some inspiration, tips, tools, strategies that you can implement immediately after listening to the show. You guys that know me, it's all about hearing, understanding, try one little step, implement, get those results, come back, implement the next thing, and continue to get the results. My job is to help your trajectory in life, to embrace the change, create the navigational tools for you to make life just a little bit easier, a little bit smoother, so that we can have more fun too and get to do what we need to do to live a beautiful, healthy life. So, Sean, thank you again. And thank you all for joining me. I am truly honored to have you listen to the show Enlightenment of Change with me, your host, Connie Whitman, on webtalkradio.net. Thank you all. Have an inspired week, and try one little thing, and email Sean, email me, and just let us know, what is that little thing that really changed the trajectory of your life and your health, and how maybe you're just living a more inspired life because of the show. That would be really, really super cool. I'm so happy you're on this journey with me, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much.